Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Paulie and JJ all week. Mitch on vacation. Welcome back. Follow the Money. VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. This is absurd. An indecision 2026 rolls on. We were supposed to have a decision today. According to people in Miami, it was going to be Miami today. I guess there's still time. 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific time. No word on what LeBron's going to do on day 21. Cannot believe this. Adam Silver, wrap it up. Let's go. Need a decision. We can't make the schedule. LeBron, I don't care. On Kalshi right now, next team, Miami, 48%. Cleveland, 25%. Philadelphia, 16%. Julian Edlow from DraftKings in half an hour. On DraftKings, Miami, plus 105. Cleveland, plus 170. Golden State, plus 475. Sixers, 8-1. During the last month, 6 weeks, 4 different teams have been favored to land LeBron. The only people benefiting here and cleaning up are DraftKings and Kalshi. Over $171 million has been bet on Kalshi on this prop on LeBron's next team. On July 10th, Cleveland was 47%. Miami was 17%. On June 29th, Miami was 5%. On June 17th, the Cavs were the top choice. Golden State was second. And most NBA insiders are saying Golden State's out. And Shams has reported 3 times that it's down to Philly, Cleveland, or Miami. Yet Golden State is the third choice on DraftKings. I know you said you've lost some respect for him and you're sick of this, JJ, earlier, and I agree with you. You can also bet on Kalshi when he will make his decision. Before July 23rd is 49%. The 22nd, 36%. Before July 24th is 67%. I mean, this is it. Once we get past this week, then we are hardcore football because we got a game with the Hall of Fame on August 6th. I cannot believe he's holding things up like this.
And that's why I get the sense, Paulie, knowing LeBron the way we have followed and known LeBron since he's coming to the league in 2003 and beyond, he's going to want this to go and be the dominant aspect of the news cycle. And that's why it will not make it all the way to football season. So I don't know if it's going to be this week or maybe it's going to be next week. But within the next 2 weeks, I think we're going to see LeBron James find a home. And I get it. Like, listen, the NBA wants to have that schedule ready to go. So that way, mid-August, they can release it. You know what your Christmas games are. You know what your opening games are. Because let's be honest about this. There is a very good chance Adam Silver in the league is probably looking at the LeBron James destination. If it's either Cleveland or Miami, and they're saying, hey, guess what? LeBron, wherever you're going, you're opening up on the road against the Knicks as they put up the championship banner at Madison Square Garden. Would make perfect sense. Or it's a Miami, LeBron, Cleveland game if he goes back to Cleveland. So many different moving parts here. But, you know, Paulie, the more and more I think about basketball fit, because for the emotional heartstrings and the full circle story and everything that it would symbolize for LeBron, Cleveland makes the most sense from like the human aspect element of this. From a basketball perspective, Miami is the best fit.
Why?
It's the best fit.
Over Cleveland?
Because he can have, I'll tell you why. Yeah. Because he can have the ball in his hands. Now, he's not going to have the shooters that he would have in Cleveland. Like Cleveland, they're going to have a better shooting team, but James Harden needs the basketball. Donovan Mitchell needs the basketball. Giannis is a guy that's going to go be in the low block. Like LeBron is going to go and run their offense. Bam Adebayo doesn't necessarily need the ball. So if that is a priority for LeBron, like final year or two of his career, I want to make sure I have the rock. I want to make sure I'm running the offense. He's got a better chance of doing that in Miami than it does in Cleveland.
This is earlier this morning, our buddy Tony Rizzo on ESPN Cleveland, as they have been maintained the whole time Everyone on that station, Cleveland. I got sources. This guy, right? I'll get into that in a second. But they're going down with the ship at this point too, and I'll tie it into what happened Saturday morning. But this was this morning about where do you think he's going to go, and the fact that a lot of people are going to be pissed off if it's not going to be Cleveland after 3.5 weeks of this.
What is it now?
Today's day 21.
Now you're making people angry. Like I'm not. As long as you come to Cleveland, I don't. You can wait till September. I don't care. Do you still think he's coming to Cleveland?
I do. Riz, I have not wavered from that once. I'm over the fact that it's taken so long.
Chris, you think he's doing it today? It's a day after the World
Riz,
Cup.
I don't know. Riz, we've been asking, is he going to do it today? And I've been like, yeah, I think he might. You know, it makes sense because there's no sports.
You called it, though, on Thursday. You said you did not think he was doing it at Fanatics.
Right.
Yes, and that did not happen. So I will give him this, that his camp, I respect that they can keep a secret. Other thing is he's 41 years old and still holding up business, and no one's going to make a significant move until this is announced. But, and I talked to several of those Cleveland guys last week, they were saying, lock it up. He's coming to Cleveland, and there were other moves behind it, which it was, once they land that and the dominoes were going to fall, this guy was going to get moved, this guy was going to get moved, they were going to acquire this guy and this guy. I'm like, this is worth a bet then. Because then they could challenge, I think they'd be the second choice behind the Knicks at that point. So I was this close to calling some people and saying, take some futures on the Cavs. Because not only are they going to get LeBron, they're going to get other people behind it. And I said to these guys in Cleveland, who's your source? And it's like, source 1, source 2, source 3. Bing, bang, boom. Okay, next guy in Cleveland. Who's your source? Oh, he's coming. Done deal. Lock it. Who's your source? Bam. Good source. Source 1, source 2, source 3. So feel good about it. Going to be announced Monday or Tuesday. And then I go to bed Friday night. I wake up Saturday, and it just, the markets go crazy with the Miami Heat stuff. It's like, how long was I sleeping for? And you saw Miami become the favorite. And Miami, as I said earlier, 5% on June 29th. Golden State was second on June 17th. It was 47-17. Cavs versus Miami on July 10th. And then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. Like, what happened? What's the report? Who's saying this? Was it Riley? We're going to land another plane? Was it an NBA insider saying this, connecting the dots? What's it going to be? So now I don't know what to do. And then you saw someone in Le Batard's camp, and they would know the Miami people. And Le Batard just had Riley on his podcast. But you saw the report. It was going to be announced tonight, and it's going to be Miami, and LeBron's coming back. Now I don't know what to believe. I still think it's either Cleveland or Miami. But now, again, $171 million in the market on Kalshi, and 4 different teams have been favored to land this guy. Now I give up, JJ. I don't know what to do.
Well, Paulie, listen, I'm not getting involved in any LeBron markets.
Yeah.
So Kalshi, DraftKings, you guys enjoy. Let the $170 million or whoever other people are betting on this go be my guest. I, for one, am sitting this one out. That being said, Paulie, LeBron, like your buddy right here, has a golf addiction.
Yes.
I love this about LeBron James, that like the guy is one of the, top 5 best players in the history of basketball. And he's taken up golf at this stage in his life. And, he's taking everybody along for the ride. You're seeing the journey. You're kind of seeing him go out and play. And, he's not very good. He's improving. He's getting better. And listen, he's as skilled an athlete maybe that we've ever seen. So, of course, he's going to pick it up and get better at it. Why do I bring all of this up? If we are handicapping the LeBron sweepstakes based upon golf and whether or not you can play golf, which he will do from time to time throughout the season. It's not like he's hanging up the golf clubs the minute the NBA season gets underway. He's got an off day, you go play. You got a road trip, you're on the road, you go play. I think it's fair to say Miami and Florida, a better golf situation.
Yep.
Not just with the amount of courses that are at your disposal, but the 12-month-a-year climate that you'll be dealing with as opposed to those snowy January and February homestands in Northeast Ohio.
Very good. But, and we just heard from Tony Rizzo, ESPN Cleveland, you're going to make a lot of people angry. So in the last week, from 3 different Cleveland people. I was told, done deal, 99.9%, and I bet my kid's life on it. And now it's like, and I'm like, what this? And I wake up Saturday in the Miami, and then they change their mind. Then those same people are like getting off their bets, are like, I don't know what to believe now. Because like, why did all the Miami money come in on Saturday and the favorite flipped? Which now they're doubting everything and don't know what to believe. Which it's still,
Paulie, it just seems like somebody puts out a story.
Bingo.
And we're new to these prediction markets, right? Like, this is not stuff that you and I have been talking about for a long, long time because it's brand spanking new. It's something that we're all learning along the fly. It feels like they're just taking the information that's being thrown out by Shams or whoever these reporters might be, and it's just moving the markets irrationally. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's my read on it.
Yeah. I think either you said it or Mitch said it too. Like every time Windhorst gets on there or goes on Cleveland or a podcast, the markets move too. But it's also like maybe all the Miami stuff is wrong. But the other thing is too about the inside information. Right up there now, you can bet on when will the announcement be made. Like how many people could have that information or know? And
LeBron, you want to tell us?
No kidding. Or just reach out to the inner circle.
Please share. We'd love to know.
Oh, my God. Incredible what that stuff is offered. It's nuts. So we'll get the DK perspective with Julian Edlow in 15 minutes. But again, it's a great MLB card. And this team has lost 9 of the last 10 games started by this pitcher who's in action tonight. We'll tell you who that is coming up on Follow the Money, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Let me get your attention real quick, podcast listeners. I've got something for you that almost feels too good to be true. First, credit where credit's due. If you're listening to this podcast, you're already leveling up your betting game. You're riding along with our best bets and top angles. And when there's a good game on, you're getting involved with a few props and alt markets as well. There's one more layer if you really want to step things up, and that's VSiN Pro. I've mentioned it before, but things are only getting better for our pro subscribers. We just rolled out our MLB prop projections, breaking down some of the best edges across strikeouts, hits, home runs, and more. And that's on top of everything else pro subscribers already get, including public betting splits, expert picks, and betting guides across the sports calendar. If you haven't tried it yet, stop sleeping on it. You can get your first month just $9.99 or save big with promo code POD26 on the annual subscription. Hit the link in the description and start cashing in with VSiN Pro. All right, back to the show. On this show, we follow the money. And when VSiN decided to launch our own store, the smart money was on Shopify. Getting the VSiN store off the ground was easier than we expected, and Shopify's templates and AI tools had us look incredible and professional from day one. Zero coding required. Shopify checkout keeps sales moving smoothly, and returning customers can complete a purchase in one click. Built-in analytics, you always know what's selling and where your customers are coming from and how to keep the momentum going. When questions come up, and they will, Shopify's AI assistant Sidekick is there with answers so you never lose momentum. You can check out the store at vsin.com/store. And if you're ready to build your own, all you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin, shopify.com/vsin. Again, that's shopify.com/vsin.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Great MLB card today. And a funny slot story as JJ's fired up during the break. We got to get to as well. Yeah, I know you mentioned this earlier, and I'm with you, about how well Joe Ryan has pitched and the lack of run support with Bybee and Cleveland. And that's the first game that goes in half an hour. Twins $1.30 at DraftKings, 7.5 the total. And this is why you're right. This division is, I know you ripped on it earlier, but this division is up for grabs. And until the last series, the Twins had won 5 series in a row. Cleveland cannot hit. Ryan's been as a 1.93 in his last 5. Hard to make a case for the over. I just don't see runs in this one, but the Twins $1.30. And I would like to back Joe Ryan here as well as this game coming up in 20 minutes. So I like what you said earlier about Ryan and the Twins. And it's just, you're waiting for someone, and Chicago's a great story, no doubt, but you're waiting for someone to run away with this division. and say, hey, we're gonna be the team to beat, much like we haven't seen in the AL West as well. We're still waiting on Seattle, and we're still waiting on a team here to show we're the team to beat and run away with this thing.
No question. And listen, I love Joe Ryan. I think he's a tremendous starting pitcher, and I bet him a lot. But, Paulie, in this spot, I actually think it's a Cleveland spot because I think it's going to be a low-scoring, tight game. And then I think it becomes a battle of the bullpens where Cleveland is going to have a significant bullpen advantage over the Minnesota Twins, whose bullpen is just, a bunch of gasoline cans. I mean, they just basically getting absolutely smoked anytime you see Twins bullpen guys come into the game. So my advice to you, not that you need to take it because you're Paulie Howard, you do what you want. You bet your money, I bet my money, and everybody's happy. I think if you like the Twins today, Paulie, I think that's a first 5 bet.
Sounds good.
Don't let that bullpen get involved for the Twins, man. Mm-hmm. You like Ryan to go and shut down Cleveland? Don't you get the sense that's a first 5? I haven't seen a first 5 price on it, but I do want to mention this. Bobby's got really, really good numbers against the Twins, and no Buxton.
$1.45 first 5. There it is. Great job by the crew as well.
Great job, crew.
Yep.
Well done.
Fun discussion.
Well done.
Cease $1.60 against the reeling Rays in Martinez. They've won his last 4 starts. Speaking of the Rays and Martinez, Cease last 6, 3-1 with a 1.73. Here it is again. I see your Seattle and I raise you. When is Toronto going to do something and get out of this? And when are we just going to say it's not happening and we're going to dismiss them? 167 now, 7.5 the total. Cease and the Jays at home against the Rays.
Paulie, I kind of like Tampa in this spot. It's rare you get the Tampa Bay Rays.
That's true.
Plus 157, getting plus 160 on the money line. And I know how good Cease has been. I was in Philly for the All-Star game last week. Looked electric. Bottom half of that first inning when he came in. I mean, he made some of the best hitters in the National League look absolutely silly. And he's had a phenomenal, phenomenal season. I just can't lay it with Toronto because their offense has been a joke all season long. It just has. And I know people are going to make the argument a market correction is coming for the Rays. The Rays clearly got humbled at Fenway Park, losing 4 consecutive games. I ask you, Paulie Howard, I'll turn the tables on you. Would you feel good laying 175 with Toronto?
No.
When they can't score runs? Not me. No, thank you.
I'm glad you brought it up. They've lost 14 of 21. They've scored 2 runs or fewer in half of them. What is going on? It's like the Guerrero Tatis thing too. Like the big dumper's been terrible in Seattle. Tatis on that long stretch he couldn't hit a home run. How bad Machado's been. Guerrero not going deep at home and the issues they've had offensively. It's like doesn't make any sense what's happened with these big names and these teams after they were so good last year.
Well, especially Guerrero. You want to tell me with Tatis, he's not the same player after the roids? Fine. Machado is a guy who's getting up there in age, and he's been an incredibly consistent player. So, okay, like I added last week San Diego under 81.5 for their live win total. Paulie, I feel so good about that bet.
Yeah,
that team is terrible.
They
can't score runs.
Yep.
They're gonna trade guys at the deadline. You get a bunch of games with the Dodgers. Arizona's kind of spunky. How are the Padres winning 82 games this year? You tell me. How's that happening?
Not a bad case. Good case. How about tonight? Now, the Braves are $1.35 with Elder. It has been Sears. It's Sears who's been terrible. And they have won 11 of their last 12, though, against Atlanta and had their number. This feels like an over. In a high-scoring game. Sears has been bad, as I mentioned. Elder, 0-3 with an ERA of 11 last 4. Also, like Waka, first start in 11 days. And Riley, 4 bombs in his last 12. I see runs in this one.
Can you say ding, 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 Paulie boy? Ding, ding, ding. I love that over. Absolutely, positively love that over. JP Sears, 5 ERA. Bryce Elder, who got off to a really good start at the beginning of the year, look at how that ERA has slowly but surely started to creep and creep and creep and creep up some more. Now, the only problem you have with the total in this game between the Braves and the San Diego Padres, the Padres offense is absolutely atrocious. But if they can't go and score a couple of runs against Elder, then, you tip your cap.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hot night, warm weather in Atlanta, ball flying out. I think it's an overplay. I agree.
All right, we're both on the Phillies. We talked about this earlier. In pocket coming up in 20 minutes. Sanchez, 7-1 with a 0.86 at home and 11 starts. And Sheehan's been bad. And plus the Sunday night angle. They've lost 6 of the last 7 games started by Sheehan. And the Sunday night angle that we hit on as well. And Blanco, who knows how long he's going to go and what to expect. And this is a lot of respect for Houston, that he's $1.30 against Miami and Junk, his first start in 429 days off Tommy John surgery in that one. And the Cubbies, you got Tyone, who's back against Flaherty and Detroit. You might not be crazy with that Detroit play, maybe to come back and win the division if they keep people. But the Cubs, 8-1-1 in their last 10 series. PCA, after he was so hot, he's in a 2-for-22 rut. Flaherty, bad numbers going back at Wrigley. Wind blowing out. We got a total of 11. And Tyone, his first start since June 7th, and he's been bad this year. That one's coming up as well. Thoughts on that or anything else that's left on the card that I haven't mentioned, JJ?
I want to mention this about the Tigers. 7-3 in their last 10 games.
Yeah.
Look at the run differentials in the American League Central. All right, Chicago, to their credits, at plus 45. They're leading the division. Cleveland, the run differentials, negative 12. Minnesota, the run differentials, negative 24. The Tigers are plus 31 from a run differential standpoint. They should be so much better than their record. The market correction to me is coming. The better question with them, are they going to abort between now and August the 3rd? They still might. They may look at their situation and say, hey, too little, too late. We have Skubal. We have some other veterans. We are trading off pieces. But I'm of the mindset Detroit can get themselves back into a race, not just in the division. All right, there's 6.5 back, ton of baseball left. Detroit's 4.5 back in the wild card. And the last wild card, for what it's worth, the Red Sox, they're 2 games over 500, for goodness sakes. Yeah. I think there's good baseball left in the Detroit Tigers. They could score runs. They had a terrible month of May. I'm backing them tonight. I'm going to keep backing them until they start trading off pieces. I think there is a different level of baseball we can see from this Tiger team. And that total is just crazy. I mean, I'm not going anywhere near it. Wind blowing out, but I mean, come on. 10.5, 11 totals. They're stayaways, Paulie.
Pay off the tees. Kansas City's lost 9 of the last 10 games started by Waka. He has good numbers, though, against San Francisco. Do with that what you want. But again, first time in 11 days he goes. Devers, 1 for his last 20. Arise has good numbers career against him with 2 bombs, though, as well. And can I talk you into Arizona? Which you're throwing Bratt, who's got an ERA of 6, but he's a prospect that they like. They've won 6 of 7, but it's a fate of the reeling A's, who have lost 17 of 21. Springs goes, he's got an ERA of 10 since June. Arizona, $1.45. Can I get on board here?
Yeah, I can get on board because the A's stink. And you mentioned Arizona.
Terrible.
They're starting to play some good ball. They had the epic comeback against the St. Louis Cardinals. And keep an eye on this too, Paulie. Arizona trending up, San Diego trending down. Cardinals, they played out of their minds in the first half of the year. I can't expect that to continue in the second half of the season. That final wild card spot in the National League, that boils down to D-backs, Marlins, Pirates. I think one of those 3 teams ends up getting the spot.
Yep. And like you mentioned, too, with Minnesota's bullpen, St. Louis bullpen. They've lost 8 of 12, 5 blown lead losses during that stretch as well. Soriano and the Angels, $1.15. LeBron, where's he going to wind up? Day 21. Now, also at DraftKings, the Miami Heat became the favorite in the last couple of days to land LeBron. Julian Edlow's thoughts, what people are betting there, and he'll make the case for 2 futures in the NBA coming up next on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, Sirius XM Channel 158.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Back on Follow the Money. Good to talk to Julian Edlow from DraftKings. I mentioned earlier in the show, I don't think there's any way Odyssey loses for Best Picture, and that's up at DraftKings, and it's moved in the last few days. Also something that continues to move, and it's crazy. And perfect timing with Julian jumping on to talk about the LeBron market next team. 4 different teams have been favored here. We're on day 21, and all hell broke loose over the weekend with the Miami movement. And Julian's on the Progressive Guest line. Follow him on X as well. He does a great job tweeting everything out, what's going on. Appreciate the time. Hope your summer's good. What can you tell us with some updates and some tracking about what has transpired here with the LeBron market, please?
Moved all over the place, of course. And if you want to go back, what do we know? We know LeBron's not going to the Lakers because he announced he's not coming back to the Lakers. The Lakers were minus 500 at one point in time.
Yeah.
And when he said that he wasn't going to go back to the Lakers, that, you kind of get them out of there. Then it's the Warriors favored. Then it's the Cavs favored. Now it's Miami favored. Miami's gone from like plus 350 to close to even money over the weekend. So here's what I can get out from you. And I know we're talking about, like the gross amount of money bet over it, but let's just look at the splits, the overall splits. The Cleveland Cavaliers still have taken the most money, and this is at various prices because obviously the market keeps moving, but 15% of the tickets, 31% of the handle is on the Cavs. Now, here's the thing. We hear from Shams that the 76ers are in the mix, the Heat are in the mix. The Warriors have the second most money, and the Warriors are still relatively favored. Like you see right there on odds, they got a shorter price than a team that Shams is reporting is in the mix in Philly.
Yes.
Golden State keeps hanging around, and I wouldn't be stunned if for some reason it's Golden State, but they have 25% of the handle on 17% of the bets. The Sixers are 12% of the handle on 15% of the bets. The Heat make up 10% of the handle on 11% of the bets. And then everything below that is kind of crazy. I thought some of these were insane. The Wizards somehow have 4% of the handle, joining Anthony Davis, AJ Dibansa. I don't know where that money came from. But last 7 days, if we want to focus, what have people been betting in the last week since last Monday? Guess who? Not the Cavs, not the Heat, not the Sixers. Golden State Warriors, 32% of the handle on 23% of the bets over the last week. So you want to talk about an era where we are moving these markets and these markets are being bet based off big-time, prime-time reporters, your Shams, your Windhorse, your whoever. Shams has come on again and doubled or tripled down, whatever you want to call it at this point, that he thinks it's down to 3 teams, Cleveland, Philly, Miami.
Yeah.
And yet the most money over the last week is the Golden State Warriors, 32% of the handle. If you want to go below that, Cavs, 19% of the money, Philly, 18% of the money, Miami, 12% of the money. The Pacers have 7% of the money over the last week. I don't know who did that, but that was bet.
Okay, Julian, help me out here. Conspiracy theorists, line 1. LeBron is now obsessed with playing golf, which I love. As someone who is obsessed with playing golf themselves, you think about 12-month-a-year climates. And LeBron is not one of these guys where he says, hey, the NBA season's going on. He's at the twilight of his career. He has an off day. He has a little time in the morning. He's getting out and he's playing these morning rounds. Can I read into the fact that, hey, Miami, a 12-month-a-year golf climate, Northern California, possible golf climate, not going to get that in Cleveland, not going to get that in Philly. Is that crazy or not so crazy?
I don't think that's crazy at all. He sat down. I don't think it was at the Fanatics Fest, but he sat down on a podcast recently and said this is going to boil down to, yes, basketball is a big part of it, but my personal life as well. And he mentioned talking to his 12-year-old daughter about how she feels. Where does she want to go? Obviously, the 2 other sons are out of the house. One of them was his teammate last year. The other one plays at Arizona. He's talking to his 12-year-old daughter to make sure that she's comfortable with where they're going to move. So if he's talking to his 12-year-old daughter about where they're going to move, I'm sure he's thinking about his golf game getting mixed in there and the weather. I do think that winning one more ring is going to be really important to him, and that's a big piece of this. But, let's just go straight from LeBron James's mouth. There's going to be personal elements that play a role in where he lands.
What do you think happens?
God, it's a good question, and I have no idea. I haven't bet the market. It's such a well-kept secret at this point. His team's doing a great job. They have on all of these things, really. I don't know where he goes. I don't have a good guess. The only thing that I'll say is you see those next team odds, and again, we're getting big time prominent reports about 3 teams that it's down to, and there are the Warriors hanging there at that price. I just think the Warriors belong in that mix, and it would not stun me at all if he goes there, and I think there should be 4 teams being mentioned in this. And now if it's not one of those 4 teams, then my jaw will be on the floor. But hey, we had Jaylen Brown next team market up on DraftKings as well.
That's right.
The longest shot on the board, guys, was the Philadelphia 76ers at 100-1, and that came through. So I don't know. In the words of our good friend, the late, great Dave Sharapan, and I'll censor myself, nobody knows squat.
Yeah, he was the best. Good point. I would be shocked if it's Golden State. How about a bet to be made in the East? What you did with some futures with Charlotte.
Yeah, so like you and I were talking a little bit before the segment, Paulie, how the East is kind of fascinating, kind of deep. These conferences are going to be deep. Nobody's going to be, like last year, Utah was literally taking guys off the floor in games where they were playing too well to almost like in-game tank, next level type of stuff. That's not going to happen anymore. There's no incentive to be the worst team, have the last record in the NBA. That doesn't get you the best shot at the first pick. In fact, it gets you worse shots, worse ping pong balls for the first pick. So I think we're going to see a lot more parity in the league this year. And a team that came up last year and was one of the best teams in the conference from January on. I went to a game in Boston and watched the Charlotte Hornets stomp out the Boston Celtics by like 40 points in the middle of that hot streak when they were the most efficient offense in the NBA. They're plus money on DK to get to 40 wins this year. I think this is going to be a very good team once again. I think they're going to improve by getting rid of LaMelo Ball, who is a little bit of a clown. He nearly lost them that first play-in game before he totally redeemed himself and hit the game winner. But you plug in Kobe White, who's a very good point guard. Your building blocks are now your wings from recent drafts in Knipple and Brandon Miller. You improve an already very good front court with the Naz Reid addition. I really like what they did there. You got Grayson Allen, another shooter coming off the bench. They have good depth. I think Charlotte's going to get into the 40s in wins, be a pretty clear playoff team in the Eastern Conference. So I did bet their win total over already.
All right, I like the sound of that. And Mitch last week, Julian, made the case for the Utah Jazz as an over, and I've already tailed them on that bet. I think their head coach is outstanding. They've obviously added a bunch of young talent, but Utah aside, give me the team in the Western Conference. We know what the deal is. It's Oklahoma City. It's San Antonio. It's these 2 behemoths basically on an inevitable collision course. But if there's somebody where you say to yourself, if it's not those 2, I want to get in with this team, who is it?
That's a good question in the West. And I know I was on with you guys, John, with Mitch, and we closed out a Summer League segment talking about the Jazz. So we've already kind of been there, done that, covered that. The Jazz are definitely my team in the Western Conference. I think the West is a little bit tougher because you have the 2 heavy hitters, the 2 teams like floating around 60 on the win totals in OKC and San Antonio. But what that does do is give you kind of lower win totals on everybody else. So, like, I think it's kind of interesting that Golden State, who is still in the LeBron sweepstakes, I know, Paulie, you said you'd be shocked if he goes there, but Golden State's at 41.5. Is that going to be a 500 team? That seems a little low to me on them. Memphis, I think, is kind of interesting. We opened them pretty low, and they've already been bet up to 28.5. I know they did a complete turnover. Like, their core was Ja Morant, Bane, and Jaren Jackson Jr., and they're all gone. But they have some pretty viable pieces there. JVT, Jonathan Von Tobel, came on my podcast, DraftKings Network Daily Bets, and said the first thing that caught his eye, this was right when win totals came out, was Memphis. So I think a lot of these teams in like the high 20s, low to mid 30s that we perceive as not great teams are going to be pretty good value next year because they're going to be trying harder than they have in years past. There's not going to be tanking. And I think we're going to see that play out with just different looking standings overall in the NBA this season. maybe more balanced in the East and a little bit more of a gap in the West, but I still think it's going to be a little more of the same, and we're not going to see some team just stumbling over their own feet down the stretch to 16, 17, 18 wins.
Yeah. Thanks for a few minutes and the insight, Julian, appreciate it. Talk to you soon.
Of course. Thanks for having me, guys.
Good stuff. Circa Survivor documentary back for another season. This one's bigger than ever. 7 all-new episodes kick off every Wednesday starting July 22nd at 9 p.m. Eastern. This one, off the bat, has Phil Hellmuth, Greg Maddox, and others. Episode 1 takes you inside the growth of the contest, now with $18.7 million on the line and the massive Grandissimo format, raising the stakes even higher. Whether you play Circa Survivor yourself or love the drama of the season-long grind, must-watch TV. Check it out every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern on VSiN. In pocket, what we're... On this show, we follow the money. And when VSiN decided to launch our own store, the smart money was on Shopify. Getting the VSiN store off the ground was easier than we expected, and Shopify's templates and AI tools had us look incredible and professional from day one. Zero coding required. Shopify checkout keeps sales moving smoothly, and returning customers can complete a purchase in one click. Built-in analytics, you always know what's selling and where your customers are coming from and how to keep the momentum going. When questions come up, and they will, Shopify's AI assistant Sidekick is there with answers so you never lose momentum. You can check out the store at vsin.com/store. And if you're ready to build your own, all you need is the idea. Shopify handles the rest. Start your free trial at shopify.com/vsin. Shopify.com/vsin. Again, that's shopify.com/vsin.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it, take it, take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3 to 1 odds. Nope. 5 to 1. Nope. 10 to 1. You're on.
Pizzeria tomorrow. Tip jar open. I know a lot of you had Spain like John did. Send them in. We'll do that tomorrow. And sad to see the World Cup go. It was a phenomenal tournament. All-timer. It's also tough to go out with the 0-0 as well, but total domination by Spain. The Zverev, Sinner, Argentina, Spain to advance parlay hit, plus 140. England, this was against Norway. England money line, over 1.5, and BTTS plus 180 cashed. White Sox obliterated the A's as well. That was a winner. England, Norway. England and PK's Norway, and PK's no good. France to qualify, minus 160. Loser, they go down to Spain. Some of the other futures. Do you believe this, JJ? Games to go to shootout for the entire World Cup over 4.5. It finished 4. I think we had 5. We had 5 matches that ended in extra time, including what happened yesterday in the final. Unbelievable with that bad beat. Which you can top
That's
me.
a cruel one.
Yeah, you can top me, though, coming up. Own goals over 15.5. We had a record. It was 14, though. At the last 18 matches, I don't think we had one. And loser with the parlay there as well. To the new stuff, eclectic mix. So I mentioned this in the first hour. You bet Golden State under, and they're in action tonight. And you bet everyone else over. If you do that, the over's on a 22-7 overrun, and Golden State's on a nice underrun. Golden State has also won 7 in a row. Lynx Storm over tonight, and Sparks Mercury over Wednesday afternoon. There's 5 games tonight. No one plays tomorrow. 6 or 7 on Wednesday, and then they go into the All-Star break. But listen to these. Chicago, 98-90, 102-87, 96-91, 95-90, 96-82, 93-91. Lynx, 104-100, 96-87, 101-93, 90-89, 90-85. Atlanta, 93-91, 111-92, 101-92, 102-92, 88-83. A ton of scoring in the last couple of weeks in the WNBA. And this has moved since we talked about it on the air. I give it an 8.5. I give Damon a 10. Right after I saw the movie, I go, how the hell is Odyssey not going to win Best Picture? They love Nolan. Everyone loves Damon. Hathaway's incredible. Leguizamo's great. Not the best movie I've seen.
How is my girl Zendaya, Paulie?
Very good.
How did she do?
Yeah, very good. But she's
a tremendous actress.
She's
strong really
resume,
good.
Strong resume. So I look, it's 2-1. Now it's minus 130. And you can bet at a Kalshi, you can bet at DraftKings. You're tied up till March. But to me, who knows how high that's going to get? And what do we have to fade? Dune 3? Digger? This bizarre-looking movie with Cruise? Dustin also echoed the sentiments of Brett McMurphy that he liked Project Hail Mary. That's 8-1. But I haven't seen it.
There's no way in the world Project Hail Mary is beating out the Odyssey.
I would
agree.
agree.
Seeing that movie. There's no way. But let me ask you this question, Paulie. You like Odyssey for Best Picture. You're giving it out. Shouldn't we just add Damon to the portfolio while we're at it for Best Actor?
No, because I was looking at that, and there's a lot of support for some other guys in some other movies that I haven't seen though too. So that's what originally I was looking at it that way as well. But because I think Damon's incredible.
Because your assessment was Damon 10 out of 10.
Yes.
Odyssey, 8.5 out of 10. That's the only reason I bring it up.
Yeah. You could argue maybe some of the individual performances are better, but the movies don't measure up to Odyssey. And again, Richard Roper's on next week saying the most enthralling experience ever in a movie. And how much he loved it, and you're seeing 96, 97% approval. I heard Stormy earlier. I was talking to my guys in Cleveland, and they pointed this out. You can go over 8.5, minus 160, or go over 9.5 plus money. This Penn State schedule's a joke. Marshall, Temple, Buffalo, Wisconsin, Northwestern, USC at home, at Michigan, Purdue, Washington, Minnesota, Rutgers, Maryland. They're not going to win 9 games. No Oregon, no Ohio State.
They better get to 9 wins.
Yeah.
They better, because I'm betting it with you.
Yep.
So they better get to 9 wins.
And we're on the Phillies tonight and Sanchez. Number 1, a fade of the Dodgers with the Sunday night baseball and the travel. Number 2, Sanchez has been awesome at home, and he's a cheap price. And Sheehan has been bad, and the Dodgers have lost 5 of his last 6 starts. Good luck.
Well, let's take a look at what we were able to do as we see some of these graded prices. Cam Young, top 10, winner, never in doubt. We almost brought Cam Young home to roost as an outright.
Yeah.
And there was a point in time, Sunday, back 9, Open Championship, despite the fact that Cam Young was like 7 off the lead in the start of the day, he was minus money to go win the golf tournament. And we saw what happened with Mr. Fox, and good on our listener who joined us earlier in the show and cashed some crazy ticket for over 100G. Must be nice, but at least, hey, we hit our Cam Young. We didn't hit Bobby Mack, who was a total stiff and played terribly over the final 2 days. He did not finish in the top 10. What are you going to do? Royals money line was an insane heater and an insane ride on Friday night because Mason Miller, Paulie, worked out a bases loaded, nobody out. And I'm like, wow, this bet is dead. Thankfully, the Kansas City Royals, who are one of the worst teams in baseball, found a way to beat a Padre team that stinks, that can't score any runs. We brought that one home. We can't say the same about the Yankees. They had a 1-0 lead with Garrett Cole on the mound. Aaron Boone goes out to the mound. I was cool with the decision of sticking with the future Hall of Famer. Unfortunately, he made a mistake to Max Muncy, and the ball still hasn't landed at Yankee Stadium. And I think the piano is still on the back of Trent Grisham as he's rounding third. He should have never been sent. But I digress. We are now moving on to the Monday card. Let's take a look at the Monday card. You mentioned that Twin Guardian game. Yes, we have a lot of respect for Joe Ryan on this show. But the reason the Guardians are the play, 2 reasons. 1, they have a monstrous bullpen advantage. So if this game is tight and low scoring like I think it will be, I'll take the Guardians battle of the bullpen any day of the week, twice again on Sunday. Then you throw in the fact that Mr. Bybee has really, really good numbers against the Minnesota Twins. So I think he can match zeros with Joe Ryan, and this game is underway right now, so we got to get a live look on that. But I will take the Cleveland Guardians plus the money, play number 1. We're riding together on the Phillies. In Christopher Sanchez, we trust when he pitches at Citizens Bank Park. Dodgers just played a doubleheader yesterday. They played Sunday Night Baseball. Don't think it's a great spot to go and take the Los Angeles Dodgers. So we got 2 down. Third play, I mentioned the Detroit Tigers. They're 7-3 in their last 10. This is a monstrous stretch for the Tigers. If they're going to keep Skubal, if they're going to go make a run in the American League Central, they have a run differential of plus 30-something. I think it's a good time to go and take them. Cubs, they've been red hot. I think they cool off a little bit here. Been a very streaky team all year. Tigers, minus 105 with Flaherty on the mound. And then you like a revenge spot, Paulie. We love revenge spots around here. Freddie Peralta against his former team. I don't care how many runs he gives up. Just get me 6 strikeouts, baby. Those are the 4 plays, and we audibled out of the Pirates tonight against the Yankees. So because we did that, Paulie, Pirates will probably win going away.
NFL preseason only a couple weeks away. Best bettors already getting ahead. Lock in the early bird pricing on the football special. Just $175 before the price goes up next month. You get instant access to the NFL betting guide, the upcoming college football betting guide, every way to attack futures, win totals, conference races, upcoming season before kickoff. Every best bet, every host, every guest, real-time betting splits, AI-powered prop projections as well. Head to vsin.com/subscribe. Now, listen to the podcast. Check out what JJ said. Seth was on, $110,000. Had Fox 2,000 to 1. Also had him again, cashed out for 11,000. And then he was going to hedge. He thought he bet Cam Young. He bet Fox again. He didn't have his reading glasses on. So we had that for another, I think it was 8,000 that he said as well. Your worst beat of your life was
oh my goodness! I don't know if it's the worst beat of my life, but it's top 3. La La Land.
Yes.
You're in the business of betting Best Picture. Remember when they announced La La Land and then they had to take it back and give it to like Moonlight or whatever the hell the movie was?
That's what it was.
I said, this can't happen. This is the Academy Awards. I won. What's going on here?
2017, La La Land was announced as the Best Picture by Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway. Beatty was handed the envelope for the Best Actress award instead of Best Picture. The producer was mid-speech when they corrected the mistake. Moonlight, you guys won Best Picture. This is not a joke. 2017. Incident became one of the most infamous Oscar blunders in history. You were involved. I think Cousin Sal was involved as well. Unbelievable.
Well, let's just hope, Paul, you're not involved for the Odyssey. Let's hope. Let's just cash that, okay?
Tim Murray and Dustin coming up next. We'll talk to you tomorrow.